Hello and happy Monday. I hope that you had a good weekend and that your family is continuing to stay healthy and happy. Today we'll start off with a few announcements for the week, reminders about when Zoom sessions are, and then we'll do a warm up together and some practice problems before I give you your Monday checkpoint. Our quote for today is actually a short to-do list that I found that I thought was kind of nice. A reminder to count your blessings, practice kindness, let go of things that you can't control, continue listening to your heart, be productive yet calm, and just breathe. Some reminders are that there's a Zoom check-in today for math class, and there's also some other Zoom times that you can participate in. So at 10:30 a.m., I'll be doing a Zoom session, and there's also going to be a Zoom class for the art elective at 2 p.m., and also small groups and one-on-one sessions with Ms. Dai for Chinese class at 2 o'clock, and also again at 2:30. You can find links for a lot of these on your Google Classrooms. Our warm-up question today is about George, and fun fact, today is actually George's birthday, so happy birthday to George. In the warm-up question it says, George has 3 pounds of ground beef, and he made 5 hamburger patties. So if you haven't met my boyfriend yet, he actually is a cook, and he works at a restaurant, and so a lot of times they have to figure out how many servings of different food they can make with the resources and ingredients that they have. So we're trying to figure out how much beef he would use per patty, and we're assuming that all of the hamburgers are the same weight. So I started off by writing down what I know in my notebook. So I'm setting up my notebook just like how we do in math class. And I was starting to think, okay, I know I'm trying to make 5 hamburger patties. So I wrote 5 groups. And then overall we have 3 pounds. So somehow all of these are going to have to equal to 3 pounds total. And that's a little bit challenging to think about. I was like, if I put 1 pound in each, then that would equal 5 pounds total. So I know it's going to have to be something less than 1, so a fraction or a decimal. And so I was thinking, okay, maybe I can use division to figure it out. And then I also wrote down, I know my final answer is going to be written like this. I know I'm trying to find how much he uses. So he uses blank pounds per patty. So please pause the video now and use either one of these strategies or a strategy that you came up with on your own to figure out the warm-up question. Let's go over the warm-up. So again, we're trying to figure out if we have 3 pounds and there's 5 patties, how much that would be per patty. So in other words, 3 divided into 5 groups. So when I think of that, I think division. And the challenging part with this is that if I divide 3 into 5 equal groups, I know there's going to be less than a pound per patty. So in other words, my answer is going to be a fraction or a decimal. I'm going to use this opportunity to review how to divide, including decimals, since some students were asking for a review of that. So let's rewrite this using long division. So it's important that we think about which number we're dividing by what. So this is 3 divided by 5. So when we write that, we need to write 3 with the 5 on the outside. And that looks really weird because 3 is less than 5. But again, we're expecting that our answer is going to be a decimal or a fraction. So I know that 5 cannot go into 3. So I'm going to start by putting a 0 up here. Then my next step is to add a 0 behind the decimal. I know that 3 is the same thing as 3.0. And so this is kind of like if I have $3 or if I have $3.00, those both mean the same thing. So then I can say how many times does 5 go into 30? I can look at this as a 30. 5 goes into 30 6 times. 6 times 5 is 30. When I subtract that, I get a 0. The last step is that I need to line up my decimal in the answer. So it's important that I'm carefully stacking the numbers on top of each other so I know where that decimal goes. And I can see that my final answer is 0.6, which matches my estimation at the beginning when I was thinking I know it's going to be less than a pound per patty. So I have 0.6, so a little more than half a pound for each of the hamburger patties. And if you added all those together, it would give you 3 pounds total. So my answer, I'm going to write in a complete sentence. He uses 0.6 pounds per patty. Our focus for today is practicing unit rate. And unit rate is basically the rate per one, so per 1 unit. So each of these is a rate, and they're examples of rates because in each of them, they are basically comparing 2 different quantities. So for this one, it's ounces per steak. This one is points per quarter, dollars per ticket, invitations per minute. And the unit rate is just figuring out how much it would be per one of each of these. So let's take a look at the first one as an example, and then I'll let you try these ones on your own. So the first one is 72 ounces in 6 steaks. We're trying to find the unit rate, so I'm trying to figure out how much it would be per 1 steak. So I'm thinking if I divide 72 up into 6 steaks, how much would that be just for 1? I can do division, where I do the first number divided by the second number to figure out how much would be in each of these groups. If you know this off the top of your head, great, you can write down the answer. I'm also going to show long division again so we can continue to review using long division. 6 goes into 7 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. 7 minus 6 is 1. I bring down the 2. 6 goes into 12 2 times. 2 times 6 is 12. Subtract that and get a 0. So there's no remainder. And my answer is 12. So that would mean that each of these would be 12 ounces. 72 divided by 6 is 12. So there are 12 ounces. Sorry, this is getting a little crowded. There are 12 ounces per steak. So 12 ounces per 1 steak is our unit rate. Again, please take a moment to try the other practice problems on your own. For each, you can do this number divided by this number to figure out the unit rate. So this is a good chance to practice that process. You can do it using long division. It's also okay with me if you use a calculator on your phone or the computer. The checkpoint that you'll be turning in this week on Google Classroom is also a chance to practice unit rate. So I looked up online and I saw that at Target, you can get a box of 6 cuties for $3.99. And you can get a box of a container of 3 peppers for $4.49. So the 2 questions that you're going to be solving are, what is the unit rate for the kiwis? And what is the unit rate for the peppers? If you have any questions on this, please sign up for a tutoring session with me, or you can also send me an email. I'll see you in the video on Wednesday.